last time.
The camp of detained former Senator Laila De Lima is now looking into the Supreme Court decision that granted provisional release to Gigi Reyes, a former chief of staff to then Senator Juan Ponce Enrile. De Lima's camp insists, though, that the DOJ in itself can withdraw the cases against the former senator. Farmgate onion prices are starting to go down, but farmers are worried it may not translate at the retail level. And newly naturalized player Justin Brownlee suits up for Gilas just in time for the sixth and final window of the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know to jumpstart your weekend. I'm Riza Diaz. We begin today's newscast with the camp of former Senator Laila De Lima assessing a new Supreme Court resolution granting provisional freedom to a longtime detainee. Gigi Reyes, a former chief of staff to Presidential Legal Counsel Juan Ponce Enrile, was released earlier this week after almost 9 years in jail. This was after the Supreme Court granted her petition for habeas corpus on the basis of her right to a speedy trial. De Lima's lawyer, attorney Dino De Leon, told the chiefs that they're now studying whether they can use the doctrine to help her case.
The big difference between the case of Attorney Gigi Reyes and the case of Senator Laila De Lima is in the case of Attorney Gigi Reyes, her bail was already denied. In our case, we cannot file this yet because our bail proceedings are ongoing. No, maybe we can explore the possibility of still filing it because there's still inexplicable delay anyway. But as to whether or not there's going to be value to that is something that we are still trying to assess and resolve.
De Leon also maintained that the Justice Department can move to dismiss the case against De Lima if they really want to. Justice Secretary Boying Remulla was the one who floated the idea that De Lima might benefit from the Supreme Court ruling.
The Department of Justice has its own fair share in the dispensation of justice in this country. Kahit naman sa dismissal, ultimately it's gonna be the court who will actually order the dismissal, pero they can move it. Alam niyo naman pala na 6 years na kung totoo tayo sa ating oath to uphold and defend the rule of law and the Constitution, then the Department of Justice is not powerless.
Onion farmers are resorting to different means just to sell their produce with imported supply expected to hit markets in the coming weeks. Shaila Francisco, the report.
After almost 4 months of planting and waiting, farmers are now busy harvesting their white onion produce at a farm in Rizal Nueva Ecija. Farmers have doubled their harvest this year, with white onions now bigger and better in quality. But despite the bountiful harvest, farmers can't help but worry as farmgate prices of the commodity started to drop in a matter of days. From 250 pesos per kilo, traders are buying their produce at 120 pesos. Farmers are pinning the blame on the government's decision to import onions. They say some traders have stopped purchasing local onions in anticipation of the arrival of cheaper imports. Farmers also feel forced to sell onions at the price dictated by remaining traders since they don't have the means to transport their own products.
Wala nang magagawa dahil hindi naman namin po pwedeng kainin lahat. Lumalagay na lang kami sa sigurado kahit na ako na medyo mababa. Hawak na namin yung pera. Kung bibiyahin namin ito, bibili pa kami muna ng truck. Mahirap din. Pupunta kami ng palengke. Hindi lang po pwedeng pupunta rin basta ng palengke lang doon. Kaya may kilala ka rin bagsakan doon.
Some farm owners with vehicles are trying to sell their produce directly to the wholesale market of nearby towns. But this seems to be a challenge for them as well.
Para kang kawawa doon na nagmamakaawa ka na bilhin yung magandang produkto mo ng presyo.
These are just some of the concerns raised by farmers when agriculture officials inspected their farms Friday morning. The DA says they are now looking for additional buyers for the farmers. They are also working on providing farmers access to cold storage facilities.
Gusto po natin na yung mga magsasaka mismo magkaroon ng access sa cold storage facility para yung pagbenta po nila ng kanilang produkto ay they can demand the price that they want. Kasi dati po, pag wala silang access sa cold storage facility, mapipilitan silang ibenta agad
While farm gate prices have dropped significantly, this is not immediately translated in Metro Manila markets where prices remain at 250 to 400 pesos a kilo. Farmers and the DA say some retailers may just be finishing off old stocks they bought at higher prices. The government assures consumers that it is expecting lower prices in the coming weeks with the arrival of some 5,000 metric tons of imported onions. Peak harvest is meanwhile expected around mid-February. Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. One News Now, I'm Riza Diaz. Over 100 overseas workers and seafarers were repatriated by the government in the last 2 weeks. Some 162 distressed OFWs have returned home from Kuwait. 200 more OFWs are set to be repatriated in 3 batches next week. Meanwhile, around 19 seafarers arrived in the country on Friday after being stranded in Australia for almost 3 months. According to the seafarers, they haven't received any salary following internal issues with the management, which forced operations to stop. Fire swept through a shanty town located next to Seoul, South Korea's posh Gangnam district. The blaze destroyed almost 60 homes in the Guryong slums, affecting around 500 people. The fire started at around 6:30 in the morning and took 140 firefighters to contain it 5 hours later. Authorities said that no casualties have been recorded so far. BTS's worldwide handsome Jin has completed basic military training. That and more in this report by the Associated Press. Newly naturalized Pinoy cager Justin Brownlee has been tapped to join a national team Gilas for the upcoming window of the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers next month. Brownlee told the big story that he cannot wait to play for the national team. Other additions to Gilas are Adamson star Jerome Lastimosa and former LaSalle player Connie Winston. Gilas will face Lebanon on February 24 and Jordan on February 27. This is the final set of qualifiers for Gilas before the World Cup kicks off in August.
It feels great. I've been wanting this for a long time. I'm just ready to continue, practicing with the team, and whenever I get a chance to suit up, I'm gonna just try to give my all and help the team as much as I can.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.